and welcome back to the channel. It is the guy in the chair. Here we are this week at Thunder Hill Raceway, once again running the improved production cars. You can see this week I am driving the Rabbit GTI, or Golf GTI if you are in Europe. Here through corner one of the Thunder Hill racetrack, we really wanted to be closer to the inside there and carry as much speed down this long straight here. This is pretty much a carousel left, long left-hander. You see I'm keeping it right to the inside and now letting the car come out uh, over to the right and then through this right-hand corner again. I really keep the car close to the inside to line it up for this next series of corners, pretty much called the Cyclone. It's a left, right, left, up to the top of the hill, down through the bottom of the hill on this right-hander going down here, which then takes us through a series of lefts. This is an important one here. If you go off on that left on the exit, you lose a lot of speed through this section. It is flat out top gear, and away we go, left, and we're coming up to a hill here. This is a tricky one. It's a fourth gear corner, but if you do it wrong, you're off into the tulies on the right hand side as the car wants to push right. We go through there, through a little kink to the right here. We're coming down to the last third of the track. Hard on the brakes. This is a fourth gear corner, and if I was to take that left in third, I'd be at the top of the rev range. A little tap of the brakes for this left and straight through this right left area here as much as possible, keeping the car straight. This now takes us to the last two corners of Thunder Hill, the alternate track. We're coming down here flat out, going to go down 2 gears into third, right on the turtles, letting the car coast right out to the left-hand turtles. You see I'm still turning and onto the front straight. That is a lap of Thunder Hill. From here, let's get into the action. It's
Here we
fast
are
and
waiting for the green
furious,
to
as
go, and
fast as these
there it
cars
is.
can go.
Oh, I
Hope you
didn't want to hit.
enjoy. Pat ahead of me, so I let off the gas a little bit. Looks like a slow start. But we have Pat and Helvis right ahead of us, and they are side by side, door handle through door to door handle through turn one, and we are starting to catch right up behind them. This is, oh, there's some lock up there from Pat's car. You can see the smoke from the tires. Through corner two, we are hanging on right to them. This, I think, is going to be one heck of a race up to the top of this hill, through the roller coaster type section, onto the turtles. We're just trying to stay off the brakes as much as possible with this little Rabbit. As you'll see throughout this race, the Rabbit, being the box that it is, isn't as fast as the other cars in a straight line, but it handles really well. And it's key. Oh, Pat makes a mistake. That is very unlike him. A little wide. We get the position. Not too many cars, only 6 in this race. But as I was saying, the Rabbit is a momentum car. You do not want to use the brakes as much as some of the other cars, maybe the Porsches and the Celicas. They have more torque, they get off the line and out of the corners a lot better. So by using the power or the momentum that the Rabbit has with its little 1.8 it's 1.8 liter engine as opposed to the 2-liter cars, it's all just keeping your foot down, breathing off the throttle to maintain the pace that you're setting. So after picking up a spot, we have Pat behind us, Helvis ahead of us, and we are coming into the last 2 corners of lap 1. You can see the top 3 are starting to move away. I'm a little wide on the second to last corner and the last corner. This might slow me down a bit because it means I'm not getting the run I need. And looking off to the left, yes, we see Pat looking. That Celica has a bit more power. I'm not going to fight it. It's too early in the race. There's no need for that. But we're going to stay on Pat's bumper. Now through corner 1, we're making it through. Quick downshift into 4th through this long sweeping left-hand turn. And around, and we see we are slowly catching up to Pat again. He hits the brakes, I drop it into 4th, and just continue to stay on the back end of that Celica. Through the left, coming up to the hill one more time. We're looking good. There's not too much. We're not, we're not a half a second. We're not a second. We're in this one. Pat has a good run through here now, but I'm carrying a little bit more speed. You can see it. We're right on his bumper. I don't know. Is there a piece of paper width in front? Maybe two sheets of paper. It's not that much. We're right in his draft. We've got 3 to 4 chevrons saying that we have a run on him. We're not going to get him through this section, but if we keep going the way we are and we try not to force a pass, maybe the two of us can draft up to Helvis there in fourth. And that would be a good thing to do because we want to be as close to everybody as we can. Oh, Pat's getting a little slippy through there, using all of the road, is he? And I'm just trying. You can see that I'm trying real hard to keep up. But this is where the rabbit is lacking. It's this top end section here. We're going to pull back in through the last couple of corners. We have Agent Smart ahead of Helvis. He's starting to get away, but we are not letting that happen too much. End of lap 2. We are looking at the split. It is a split of 7/10 of a second. That's all down to top end. I can get to 198 miles an hour top speed. Everybody else is 202, 200. So 2 miles an hour, that is a big chunk of change, a big that 4 miles an hour. That's a lot when it comes to top end. But this is where we start to pull things back into our zone where we have the ability to feather the throttle, not use the brakes, maintain the momentum. You see, we're starting to pull up on Pat and Helvis there ahead of us, who in turn look to be pulling up on Agent Smart. So, will this mean we're going to have a four-way battle for third? That would be spectacular, but we need to keep this momentum up, need to keep the car focused and moving in the forward direction. Keeping everything on the blacktop. That's what we need to do. Downshift to fourth, up through this tricky left-hander. Oh, we're getting a little wild there. You can feel almost the car weaving on it, or not weaving, but moving on its suspension. I have it set up fairly loose. That's how this car likes it. And loose is fast, with one big bar on the back so that the car turns. Pat's all over the curbs again through these last 4 corners, down this little straight. We were a second behind. I don't think we're a second behind anymore. Second to last corner here, hard on the brakes, dropping it down to third, right almost touching the dirt, and Pat goes wide. We are right here behind him now. There is nothing between us. That's Salika, this rabbit. If I stay within his draft, I can hold on to him. And that's what we need to do. Maybe a little later we'll get an outside view of this battle that we have going on. But we don't. Oh, that was so close. Did you see how close that was? If we look at that from the outside, I'm sure there was nothing between us there. It was more luck than skill that I didn't take Pat out. But we are closing in on Helvis and that white 914 ahead of us. Up through the whoop-de-woos and down through this right-hand corner here into the left-hander here. You can see Pat all over his brakes. If you were watching my feet, I'm not on them. I don't have a camera for that yet. We'll see what happens in the future. Through and around the right, coming into this next tricky left. Pat's on the turtles. I'm not on them, but I'm carrying the speed right out to the right side of the corner. Through left number 1, coming into left number 2. There it is, second left. And now this little short straight to the uphill left-hander, the tricky left-hander. I've seen a lot of people go off there, and Pat's holding on to that car as well as he can. He's a great driver. He has that Toyota set up really well. Fourth gear left-hand corner here, right on the turtles for me there. Left-hand third gear corner. Again, carrying as much speed as we can. It's helping us to stay with Pat, and it looks like we're catching up to Helvis. We're not that far in. We're only a few laps in, but everyone is right together. It looks, oh, I'm looking down the inside, making him think. But he's not going to fall for that. He's too cagey of a veteran. Pat and I are now running nose to tail still. We are half a second behind. Oh, maybe closer to a second behind Helvis. That Porsche has a lot of torque coming out of it. It's a six-cylinder. Everything else in this field is a four-banger. Corner one down, through corner two. We are closing in. Helvis is going wide. That's going to help us catch up to him. Oh, we're watching this. I know I'm speaking a lot, but wow, I just want to shut up and watch it, but you can't. You got to know what's going on here. Through the right-hander, Pat's right on Helvis's tail. I'm not that far behind. I'm moving my little rabbit, the wascally wabbit, they say, through this left or this right-hander, letting it stay close to the inside. Pat is right on the back end of Helvis. I am coming close to the back end of Pat. Down through the lefts, we have Agent Smart, who's right on the tail of Mr. Brownhill. They are not too far ahead of us. Pat's looking down the inside of Helvis. I'm just trying to keep it together and stay with them. It allows me to pull them back up through that little left-hander. Coming down now, we've gone through the right-hand kink, coming into this fourth gear left-hander. Oh, there's stuff going on. Looks like Agent Smart has got past Mr. Brownhill. Oh, wide through there. We've got Agent Smart off on the dirt. It's letting Mr. Brownhill catch him, which in turn lets Helvis and Pat and myself get up to them. This is now a 5-car battle for second position. Look at this. We are all together. And around goes Agent Smart. He got on that throttle just a little too much. Pat and Helvis are again door handle to door handle going down the front straight. Where do I want to go? Do I want to follow Pat? Do I want to follow Helvis? I'm going to take Helvis up to the outside. Pat's coming in on the brakes, throws me offline for corner one, but we don't go off the track. We lose a couple of tenths, but we are right there. Through all of that, I've still picked up a spot, and I have picked up the fastest final sector. What a race. I think we need to take a look at what happened from the outside view. Let's take a look at that again. All right, here we are. We're building up to that crescendo that we were just watching with all second through sixth all together. As you can see, yes, it is focused on my little rabbit as we are closing in after the big left hill. And we see Pat and Helvis side by side down this straight. Oh, here's the third gear corner. Up the hill, down. Pat was looking to the inside of Helvis there. Here we are, we're coming down into the left-hander. Pat's dragging tires. He must be left foot braking. He's dragging tires all over the place. Here we are, we're coming down through the S's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of us right together. Now, coming into the second to last corner, I'm right on the back of Pat. Pat's right on the back of Helvis. Helvis is right on the back and just out of frame. There he goes. There goes Agent Smart. Pat is now down the inside, looking at the inside of Helvis. He's looking down. What's going to happen? He's going down. I'm going down with Pat. Helvis is moving over to the right. I'm moving over to the right. This is where it's all going awry, and out wide I go, and we are back to second, third, fourth, and fifth through the long left-hander. That was something to see now, wasn't it? Let's go back to the rest of the race. Here we are back in the car after that historic little battle, that free-for-all for second, and everyone came out unscathed aside from poor Agent Smart, who lost 5 seconds in that little spin. It can happen to the best of us. We're going through the up and down roller coaster portion of the track now, and through the left-handers. That will take us back to that. It, I guess it's an increasing radius left-hander, which is the next corner. We have Mr. Brownhill, Helvis, Pat,
Let's keep Rick
myself.
in touch with
We're
us here,
coming up
guys.
to
Come
that
on. Let's draft up to it.
increasing radius left-hander right now, down into fourth, up onto the inside turtles, letting the car come out to the right, through the right-hand kink. I'm looking down the inside to see if we can put a little extra pressure on Pat, and if I can get an extra spot right on his bumper coming into the S's. We are right there. We are right behind Pat, who's, oh, he's going around. The pressure worked. We made Pat spin. That lifts us up into fourth place. Now we have to hunt down the real faster cars again, and that is Helvis and Rick. They're only the real faster cars because I am not in their draft. Through the right-hander, third gear
How's hanging
corner,
on
coming
here,
out,
Pat?
maintaining that arc so that the steering wheel is always turned onto the front straight. Can I catch up to Helvis and Mr. Brownhill? That is what the question is as we come to the last few minutes of this race. It looks like 7.5 to go, but I throw it wide in corner one, trying to carry that speed and that momentum to bring me up
Wide,
to
wide,
Helvis.
wide.
Doesn't look like I lost a whole lot of time, but I did lose some momentum, and that's going to cost me in the overall of this lap. Through the right-hander at the top of the hill, coming down the right downhill there into this left-hander, back to uphill. This really is a roller coaster. This would be one heck of a track for me to take the 924 or 944 to in real life. Through the left, now down to this. It's nearly a straight because you don't have to let off the gas here. You just
Yep.
have to be on your line,
Just
flat
keep pushing.
foot to the floor. Down through here, we are making up a little bit of time with Helvis, but is it going to be enough? He's sliding that tail end. Nice drift, Helvis, through that corner there. Now we're coming down to the fourth gear, which is the start of the left or the last sector of the track of Thunder Hill. Into the S's, third gear, keeping the power as much as we can. I like to try and keep it with 2 yellow dots through there as we power through. It looks like we gained a couple of tenths to Helvis. Maybe not a lot, but every tenth helps around this track. Again, keeping the arc through the last two corners so that we are carrying as much speed as we can onto the front straight. Let's see what the gap is here as we enter into the last 5.75 minutes. I am 8 tenths behind Helvis. So we did pull up a couple of tenths. This is a better line through corner one. Now you can see what the momentum will do with this little boxy rabbit. Through the left hand carousel corner at Thunder Hill, corner two, we are still slowly bringing Helvis into a sharper focus. Through the right-hander at the apex of the corner, still hard on the gas, letting off a little bit to maintain our momentum, and we have picked up a tenth of a second on my best time through sector one. It looks like TA has picked up the fastest final sector. Say that 5 times fast, and off the track I go. But we're maintaining our momentum. We are still well within reach of Helvis through here. We are now down within the last 5 minutes of the race, and we are pushing hard here through the left-hander that if you take too fast will take you into the dirt, through the right-hand kink, flat out down here. We're looking for the braking markers. There's 5, 4 on the brakes, 3 into this left-hand corner, and down another gear through the left-hander of the start of these little S's with the big
on the straights.
bold curbs on either side. Coming down to the last two corners of the lap. Let's see where we are now. We are half a second, a little over half a second behind Helvis, going way wide through there. That is not the line you need to take to maintain your momentum.
Oh, that's wide.
Looks like Helvis went a little wide on that one too. So onto the front straight. I am losing time. That the torque out of that six-cylinder 914 will just power them away from us. We are now nearly a second behind Helvis. Again, a little wide through corner one, but not out on the dirt. So we're hanging in there, making a good showing of ourselves tonight or on this race. And through corner two, again, and we're in top gear here, coming down into corner three, down to fourth gear, holding it tight, close to the ridge line, allows us to pull in a little bit on Helvis. Again, no brakes through here, just a little lift off the throttle, up through corner six, down through corner six, into fifth, trying everything we can to squeeze every ounce of power out of this 125 horsepower motor. I'd have to double check on what the power is of the Rabbits of the time, the Rabbit GTIs. I owned one, fantastic little car. Coming down through the S's or the lefts into this hard left increasing radius corner right out to the right hand side. Looks like we pulled in a few tenths on Helvis through here. Time is running down. I don't know if we're going to have enough time to pick up a podium on this race, but we are definitely making a go of it. Helvis is right there. He is braking. He is on the curbs. He is trying very hard to keep me behind him as we come down this little short chute into the final two corners of the race. We are picking up a draft. I'm looking down the inside, seeing if the pressure I put on Pat will work on Helvis. It doesn't look like it's working here. Coming down onto this straight here and to the right. He's trying to break the toe. Look at him. Left to right. They're back to the right. He's trying to break it. He doesn't want me to get that draft because that draft is key for me, even though I tower over that 914 in this Rabbit. Through corner one, he didn't break the draft well enough. I am still right on the tail end, looking to the inside. Helvis is holding me off. He is driving a spectacular race to hold on to that final podium position of Thunder Hill. Here we come. We're going into corner three now. I am still right there. He is on the brakes almost halfway through the corner. He must be doing a late brake. I am right on him here through corner four. He's getting away from me there. It looks like I didn't carry my momentum properly. Through this right hand corner six, I'm way wide trying to take that as hard as I can. It is losing me the time that I need, but off to the left, to the right goes Helvis. That might help me as we power through the lefts, getting ready to enter
Oh, too far
the
away to capitalize.
increasing radius uphill left hand corner. Here it is. Am I gaining on him? Maybe. No, I'm not. He's holding that gap. It's not a big gap, but he's holding it. Our times are very even, and you can see where each car has its strengths. Here is where my strength comes in because I have just pulled in everything I lost through the high power section as we enter into the handling section here. It looks like we are running down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It looks like we are out of time. I'm going to try and send it down the inside, but I'm not going to ruin my race and Kurt's for the podium. It looks like we are ending this in fourth place tonight on this race. And what a race it was. Wow, across the line we go. Well done to Helvis. Well done to
Oh,
TA. Well done to Mr. Brownhill. And we
good
will
race,
see
Kurt.
you
Good race.
next week. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. The more we can, the more viewers we can get. Enjoy.
72 and 66 for mine.